So the next step is plumbing from your diversion valve out to the landscape. And you'll notice we've got this wall over here. There is an existing hole down at the bottom, but it's filled with a pipe, and I don't really want to move or alter this pipe. I don't know how old it is, and I just don't want to take a chance of breaking anything loose or altering what's already existing there. So I'm going to use a drill. Looks like that. And this bit up at the top is a 1-inch diameter bit. So I'm just going to drill through the wall using that. Sometimes you may need to core through a wall. I'm lucky here in that this is just wood board. But if you have plaster or a thicker wall, you'll need something called a core drill that has a much longer bit. It's about 1 foot long, and you can use that to core through a wall. So we've finished our plumbing through to the wall, and the last thing to do is to hook up our washer hose to our barbed adapter. Fortunately, I didn't have enough space to put the dryer cord behind that 45 like I did with the electrical cord, but it's not ideal. But so when you're attaching your hose, something to add to it is a hose clamp, which you can tighten just with a flathead screwdriver right there, and that just helps tighten down the hose and ensure that you're not going to get any leaking. Okay, here we are on the outside of our system. The pipe is coming through the wall, down a fitting, and then we have what's called a clean out right here, which is a T, and it has pipe thread on this side and hose thread on this side. So if the emitters ever get clogged, then you can hook up a hose connected to a city line right there, and then it will send water down through the emitters to clean out your system. The next piece in your outdoor plumbing is converting from PVC to poly, so PVC, poly, and that is just done with another barbed male adapter, and this is 1-inch poly tubing going into the ground, and you'll see where it comes up later. Here is part of our distribution line from the poly conversion you just saw. And this is our 1-inch poly running through here. This is a gardening stake that, although I trenched and covered the line outside of the basin, inside the basin, there's enough mulch to be able to cover the 1-inch line, as long as you have a gardening stake to keep it down near the ground. And then there is a 1-inch by 1/2-inch T, so that you can convert your emitters to 1/2-inch poly. And then at the end of your emitter, you have what's called a ball valve, and that you can adjust. So that's completely off. That's completely on, and you can adjust it anywhere in between. So this is good for laundry to landscape systems, because the emitters closer to your washer are going to have higher pressure, more volume water coming out of them. So you want to turn those down just a little bit, maybe that much, so that the same amount of water can come out through emitters further down the line. Depending on the type of plant that you're watering, you may want it to water a lot less or a lot more. This here is a citrus, so it can take all of this water all year long. Over here we have a pomegranate. Behind the pomegranate is our 1-inch line that I was just talking about. And this pomegranate has 2 emitters. You can see them, one's right there, the other's right there. This one has 2 emitters, and during the winter time when the leaves drop with this or any deciduous plant, you'll probably want to close those emitters completely, because otherwise the tree or the plant is not taking up that water, and it may create an anaerobic environment that harms the root system if you keep dumping water with soaps in it while the tree is not able to absorb that water. So over here we have our emitters for our citrus tree, and then our 1-inch line comes out of the basin and over to a barbed 90, another garden stake, and then it goes up into the citrus and is just open on top. And this is our final overflow, and this is in case these emitters clog up or are all completely closed for some reason. You want to ensure that the water from the washer is not going to back up back into the washer. So you have an open pipe. This can be either poly or PVC. Since I was using poly, I stayed in poly. And usually you can hide it in a tree so that even if it does overflow, that water will still go to the tree. But you want it to be about 3 feet tall. Depends on where your overflow is in relation to your washer. If it's much further below your washer, it needs to be a bit taller. If it's slightly above your washer, it needs to be a bit shorter. But you can calibrate by turning your washer on, checking each of your emitters, and you can see that water is coming into this basin. There's also leaking happening here, so that's something to adjust if you are worried about the leaking. Since this leaking is happening right where we want the water to go anyways, I'm not too concerned here, but you can add a couple hose clamps right here and right here in order to keep it from leaking further.